Mustafa Kemal Pasha. Turk Mustafa Kemal Pasha was the founder of modern Turkey. Turk means splendid Turk. Kemal means perfect. During the World War I, Kemal earned fame as a great warrior. After the World War I, in 1919, Turkey had to obey the humiliating Treaty of Sevres. Allied nations occupied vast fertile lands of Turkey and forced it to pay compensation for the loss incurred during the war. They also claimed rights over Turkey's territorial waters. In 1915, during Gallipoli War, as a commander, Kemal drove away Britishers. Kemal detested Sultan of Turkey acting as a slave of allied nations. Kemal toured in the lowlands of Turkey and successfully brought awareness among the people against the incompetent Sultan. In 1919 September, Kemal organized a meeting of nationalists. In this meeting, 6 points national agreement was accepted by the members. According to this, new pact were concluded regarding sovereignty, suspension of tenancy in agriculture, protection of Istanbul, present-day Constantinople, and sea waters and straits. In 1919 October, the elites of Kemal secured majority in elections. In 1920 January, Nationalist Convention was accepted by the parliament. By this time, Kemal got enough confidence, and as a final step, Kemal convened a meeting of nationalists in Ankara, center of Asia Minor. Victory over Greek in 1919 CE. Common Era. In the spring of 1919, Greek army entered into Smyrna. This incident made the people of Turkey to forget all their differences and get united for a fight against Greeks. Kemal took advantage of differences between coalition countries and concluded pacts with them individually. Kemal developed envy in France and Italy against Greeks. Kemal concluded pacts with France, Italy, and Russia individually. Kemal successfully isolated Greek and paved way for its defeat. On 23rd April 1920, against the rule of Sultan, Kemal formed a provincial government. As a soldier, he was naturally brave and he displayed the same nature in politics too. Under the efficient leadership of Kemal, nationalists overcame many big obstacles. Unanimously, Turkish people accorded their support to Kemal. On 24 July 1923, Kemal asked for the review of Treaty of Sevres, and as a result, Lausanne Treaty was concluded. According to the Treaty of Lausanne, Turkey got eastern Thrace and Aegean islands. The compensations Turkey had to pay were waived off. Tenancy was banned. Kemal introduced many reforms in law. Military rights were suspended on straits. Only during peace times, ships of other countries were allowed into the territorial waters of Turkey. On 29 October 1923, Ottoman Empire was ended and Turkey emerged as a Turkish Republic. Kemal became president of the newly formed Turkish Republic. After assuming power, Kemal started concentrating on modernizing Turkey. Age-old or conservative, superstitious institutes were banned by him. Kemal introduced many reforms for the modernization of Turkey. Turkey was lagging behind in many sectors. Though personally Kemal was not against democracy, he was crystal clear that only the path of enlightened despotism can lead Turkey to all-round development in short span. 1923 to 1928, first round of reforms. The sentiments of conservatives got offended due to the reforms of Kemal. With the support of moderates, a Kurdish rebellion was organized in 1925 CE. Kemal successfully suppressed the rebellion and he took the opportunity to ban all the political parties in Turkey. Thus, the way for reforms became clear. Political reforms. From 1924 CE onwards, Kemal took measures to liberate Turkey from the influence of Islam. On the pretext of Kurdish rebellion, Kemal banned all the madrasas, Muslim education institutes, and the domination of Islamic religious heads was decreased. On 3rd March 1924, Mustafa Kemal Pasha took a groundbreaking decision of banning caliphate. So, Khalifa was both the spiritual and temporal or political head of entire Islamic world. All the Muslim kings had to obey the orders of Caliph. Kemal introduced uniform to the Turkish army and also ordered the citizens to wear hats. According to the amendment of 6th December 1934, an important administrative decision was taken. One person gets elected as the president from the representative of citizens in the assembly. Assembly's tenure is the president's tenure. Its president will be in power as long as the assembly continues in power. On 5th February 1937 Common Era, Assembly accepted the 6 principles of Republican People's Party. Those 6 principles are republicanism, nationalism, democracy, evolutionism, separation of religion from government, nationalizing key industries. Next, social reforms of Mustafa Kemal Pasha. Kemal handed over all the madrasas to Government Education Commissionerate. Kemal gave importance to technical education. Although he ruled as a dictator, Kemal realized that the influence of Islam on the acts and education was slowing down the results of reforms. To liberate Turkey completely from the clutches of Islam, on 9th April 1928 CE, Kemal declared Turkey as a secular state. Kemal accorded freedom to women. Equal rights were given to women on par with men. 12th International Women's Conference was held in Turkey on 12th April 1935. On 6th December 1934, Grand National Assembly Constitution was amended to grant universal adult suffrage. All the men and women of over 23 years in Turkey were given right to vote. In 1935 Common Era, Friday was replaced with Sunday as a weekly holiday. Ancient Turkish titles like Pasha were banned and surnames were added to the names on the western lines. Judicial protection was provided to all the rights of citizens. In 1929 CE, Kemal allowed another political party in Turkey, which in no time started making hesitations against Kemal. Kemal realized that the Turks are not yet ready for democracy. New civil code, criminal code, Roman alphabet, and Western calendar were introduced in Turkey. Kemal suggested the Turks to renounce ancient way of dressing and language. Statism. To strengthen Turkey financially, Kemal introduced a new economic policy which was famous as statism. Statism means the state involving in the affairs of industries as much as possible. Subsidies were given to farmers for the development of agriculture. New economic policies, new agriculture policies, and technology was introduced in farming. Farmers were given membership in cooperative societies. Turkey did not fall prey of Great Economic Depression of 1929. Kemal's effective strategy empowered Turkey to escape from the ill effects of Great Economic Depression. During the days of Great Economic Depression, Kemal suggested the Turks to grow the crops which had international demand. Railways, ports, and sea transport were nationalized by Kemal in Turkey. Expansion of paper, jute, mines, iron, and steel industries were made with the state funds. As Kemal's reforms started bearing fruit, migrated farmers started coming back to Turkey. To bring more migrated farmers back to Turkey, Kemal announced them incentives. Agricultural colleges were established by Kemal as special agriculture farms were established for the development of agriculture. Irrigation facilities were developed and measures were taken for the development of commercial crops like tobacco and cotton. In 1924, first bank was established in Turkey. Turkey is Bank Banaksi was the first bank established in Turkey. In 1933, 5-year plans were introduced in Turkey. For the convenience of entrepreneurs, Summer Bank was established in 1932. A separate bank was established for providing aid to government-owned industries. ET Bank was established in 1936 for the development of mineral and metal industries. In the same socio-economic and political situation, a new way different from fascist and Nazi governments was chosen by Kemal for the development of Turkey and achieved success in his aim of modernizing and developing Turkey. With far-sightedness, Kemal made Turkey ready to withstand the adverse impact of Great Economic Depression of 1929, from the wrath of which even the Great Britain could not escape. That is why today he is rightly revered as the father of Turkey.